Hey everyone, it's a deal here. We're finally getting some encouraging news about this historic government shutdown. After 38 long days, the longest shutdown in U.S. history, Democrats and Republicans are finally talking, and it's possible that a deal could come together as soon as this weekend. I know so many of you have been stressed about SNAP benefits, military paychecks, flight cancellations, and whether the government will keep its promises. Today, I'm breaking down the latest developments, what they mean for you and your family, and why this weekend could be absolutely critical. I've gone through all the latest reports and spoken to people close to these negotiations, so you don't have to. Let's get into it. We are now on day 38 of the government shutdown, and the damage is piling up. Thousands of federal employees are either furloughed or working without pay. Air travel is being disrupted, and programs that millions of Americans rely on are hanging by a thread. But finally, there's movement. Just yesterday, Senate Minority Leader Chuck Schumer and Senate Democrats unveiled a new proposal that could pave the way toward reopening the government. They're offering an alternative shutdown plan that includes a one-year extension of Affordable Care Act premium tax credits, basically Obamacare subsidies, and they're urging Republicans to say yes so negotiations can move forward. This moment is critical because major deadlines are fast approaching. November 15th is when the next military paychecks are supposed to go out. As of right now, there's no funding to make that happen. If the shutdown continues, service members could miss pay for the first time in decades. On top of that, air traffic controllers, TSA agents, and other essential federal employees are already stretched thin, working without pay. The impact is being felt across the country. More than 700 flights were canceled today alone, and here in Seattle, 24 flights were grounded just this morning. If this keeps up, we're looking at a 10% reduction in national flight capacity by November 14th. And if there's still no deal, that number could jump to 20% around Thanksgiving, right as millions of Americans prepare to travel for the holidays. Here's what Schumer said directly in his statement. We would like to offer a simple proposal that would reopen the government and extend the Affordable Care Act premium tax credits simultaneously, and then have the opportunity to start negotiating longer-term solutions to healthcare costs. That's the heart of the Democratic plan. I reached out to someone close to these talks, an aide to a lawmaker involved in negotiations, and here's what he told me. He said this proposal has actually been on the table for a while. Democrats originally wanted to make the subsidies permanent, but now they're willing to settle for a one-year extension as a show of compromise. Republicans, however, are cautious. With the Senate currently split 53 to 47 in favor of Republicans, they're wary of making concessions before future elections that could shift the balance of power. Still, the pressure is intense. If Republicans refuse to move, the pain from this shutdown will only get worse, and everyone knows it. Let's talk about who's being hit hardest right now. Military personnel. November 15th is the deadline for their next paycheck. If the shutdown extends past that date, there's no guarantee of timely payment. Although back pay is promised once the government reopens, the immediate financial stress on service members and their families is enormous. Federal workers, from park rangers to TSA agents, hundreds of thousands of employees are either furloughed or working without pay. While back pay is mandated by law, families are struggling right now to pay rent and buy groceries. SNAP recipients. This is one of the biggest developments today. The Trump administration just announced that it will fully fund SNAP benefits for November, after previously stating it would only cover about 65%. A federal judge had ordered the administration to pay the full amount to all 42 million Americans who depend on food assistance, and in a surprising move, the administration has now agreed to comply. Here's what's interesting. One of my sources suggested that this decision could be a sign that a broader government funding deal is close. If the administration is suddenly willing to fund SNAP fully, it could mean they expect the government to reopen soon, possibly within days. So why are the next 72 hours so critical? Today is November 7th. Senator Kelly said yesterday that the shutdown could stretch another 2 weeks, but with this new proposal, both sides might act sooner. We could see real movement between November 8th and 10th. Here are the key upcoming deadlines: November 14th to 15th, military paychecks, and potential 10% flight capacity cuts. December 1st. Even if SNAP is funded for November, there's no guarantee for December if the shutdown continues. Thanksgiving travel. Airlines are warning that disruptions could become catastrophic if funding isn't restored soon. Both Democrats and Republicans are under immense public pressure. Nobody wants to be responsible for grounded holiday travel, unpaid military families, or millions losing food assistance. Let's simplify what's on the table. The Democratic proposal: reopen the government immediately and extend Affordable Care Act premium tax credits for 1 year, allowing time for broader discussions on long-term healthcare costs. The Republican position: they want assurances that this isn't just a short-term fix. They're worried Democrats could gain leverage in future elections, reducing their bargaining power later. The potential compromise: a 1-year extension gives both parties breathing room, relief for Americans now, and time to negotiate later. My source told me Democrats were previously holding out for a permanent extension, but now that they're willing to compromise, it signals real progress. If both chambers of Congress move quickly, this could pass as early as this weekend, and then head to the president's desk for signature. Here's the good news in all this chaos. SNAP benefits are fully funded for November. Over 42 million Americans will receive their complete food assistance this month. Military back pay is guaranteed. Even if there's a delay, every service member will get what they're owed once the shutdown ends. There's real momentum toward a deal. For the first time in 38 days, both parties are actively negotiating instead of posturing. Deadlines are forcing action. Sometimes it takes a crisis to push Congress to move, and we're finally at that point. The Trump administration's decision to fully fund SNAP could be the clearest signal yet that the shutdown's end is in sight. They wouldn't make that commitment if they thought this would drag on for months. I know this has been incredibly stressful for millions of Americans. If you're a federal worker struggling to cover bills, a military family unsure about your next paycheck, or someone relying on SNAP benefits to feed your kids, the uncertainty has been brutal. But we're finally seeing real signs of hope. Here's what you can do right now. SNAP recipients, your November benefits are fully funded. Check your EBT card balance and plan your spending carefully. Military families, stay in close contact with your command and monitor your pay accounts. Back pay is guaranteed. Federal workers, prepare for a potential return to work early next week and keep records of all expenses during the shutdown for back pay and assistance programs. Travelers, if you have holiday flights booked, sign up for airline alerts and have backup plans ready. And most importantly, don't wait for the shutdown to end to seek help. Local food banks, community centers, and emergency aid programs are available right now. I'll include a list of resources in the description. Here's what I'll be watching over the next few days. Friday, Saturday. Will the House vote on this proposal? Saturday, Sunday. Will the Senate follow suit? Lawmakers could be working through the weekend given the urgency. Monday. If both chambers pass it, will the president sign it immediately? And how fast will agencies recall employees? The alternative, if this deal falls apart, is more pain, more cancellations, and more financial strain for millions. But momentum is building, and the sense in Washington tonight is cautiously optimistic. I know these last 38 days have been exhausting. Families have been tested, paychecks missed, and patience stretched thin. But we are finally seeing progress. Democrats have put forward a real plan. The administration is signaling cooperation, and both sides understand that the clock is ticking. This weekend could be the turning point we've all been waiting for. If you're struggling right now, please reach out for help. Check the resources below. You're not alone in this. And remember, even if it takes a few more days to finalize, we're heading in the right direction. The worst-case scenarios, no December SNAP funding or holiday travel chaos, are starting to look less likely by the hour. If this helped you understand what's happening and what to expect next, please like this video, subscribe, and turn on notifications. I'll be posting updates throughout the weekend as news breaks. Stay strong, stay informed, and I'll see you in the next update.